going on? What's going on? Got another dog to block out. If you're here, smash that thumbs up and subscribe for me. I appreciate you being here. Today we're going to be trying out my $100 Stihl MS250. I just picked this thing up the other day. Didn't do any modifications, haven't changed the bars, any of that yet. And I didn't even touch up the chain. Feels sharp to the touch. We'll see how it works. $100 used. It's an older one. It's back when this saw was only $299. Now they're $400. What's going on? Hope you guys are having a good day. Appreciate those of you tuning in. Alright. Happy almost 4th of July. It was a good deal on that MS250 for $100. Heck yeah. Hey Sue. Hey Kirsten. Bear and the Boss Lady, what is up? Got the saw for $100. $100. MS250. Somebody had it in the marketplace. A little bit older model. It was $399 instead of $400. They're $400 now. Back cover's a little smacked. The chain's pretty dang sharp. So the don't get me wrong, I like buying new saws, but if there's a good deal, I'm gonna pick that thing up. I don't even care. My other 250, my first MS250, I'm having problems with. So I've had that for a long time. It's made me a lot of money. We've done a lot of carving with it, but it keeps stalling. Put a brand new carburetor on it. Didn't even want to mess with it. Won't run. So there's a chance I got to break it down and see what it looks like in that piston and see what it needs. Wow, this guy's a real idiot, huh? See you later. I don't know why people are stupid. Anyway, the my other MS250, I think I'm gonna have to break it down. There's a chance there's a problem with the seals leaking, so it ends up getting too much air stalling out. But we'll have to do a video on my other channel and break it down and see what happens. That's what happens. That's what people do. I was live on one of my TikTok pages this morning fishing, and I had people on there going nuts about the whole Mexico and US and all this nonsense. Like, see you later. People are whack. People think they're being super funny, you know what I mean? But stupid. See if this will run now. At least it starts back up. So, I'm going to draw some lines on here. Working on a second one of these guys. That's what we're doing. Working on the second one. This thing drawn up a little bit. Get some rough lines in here, and yeah, see what happens. I just don't have patience for people with that crap anymore. I just don't. Alright, the bar on that new 250 is running, I think, 50 or 63 gauge, so it's a bit bigger. Usually we're running at 43 gauge. A little bit beefier than where I'd like to be, but we're going to keep using it to block the dog out. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I threw a block at him. 81 watching. What is up, guys? If you're here hanging out, tap that screen, hit subscribe. Working on another dog. Hope you guys are prepped and ready. 4th of July tomorrow. Please tell me you guys are celebrating the 4th of July. I keep seeing all these videos. Everybody's like, boycotting it. I wish we could just put them on a plane and ship them somewhere else. You're gonna boycott the 4th of July? Get out of here. Get out of here. need to tune up too. Right? Because all these people that aren't from America are mad at America for sending people out of America that came here illegally, and so they want to boycott the 4th of July. And leave America. Simple. I don't know, this thing's gonna need some work, I think. Going on 88 watching still, huh? 117, no kidding. I know, 11 thumbs up. Yeah. We're gonna have some family over, be doing some barbecue. It all depends on where I'm standing. Depending on where debris flies, the fans are blowing the exhaust out from the tent. It is. It's craziness. You notice that though, Bear? Make a comment about our independence and then somebody brings up that other one you just deleted. Yeah, he did. Get a smaller bar out. We gotta start working this down a little bit here. Whew, now it's smoking a little bit. Works for me. I don't know if I will. I'm not very good at them, I don't think. Plywood, plywood. There's a freedom of speech. I totally support that. But if your freedom of speech rubs us wrong on this channel, we'll just block you. It's that easy. Bear, get ready, Bear. Here comes all the comments. You're gonna be busy. See how quick that 250 cuts? That is why I like swapping sprockets. If you don't have a 3/8 pitch, that's why I go to 3/8 pitch. I run 43 gauge chain, right? 16 inch or a 14 inch bar. These things are like a hot knife through butter when you set them up that way. Yeah. I'm with you there, Kirsten. I really don't care. Or Kristen, sorry. Kirsten. More size is the way to go. Facebook Marketplace, I just picked that other one up for $100. It needs a little tune-up, but not too bad for what it is. What's going on? Appreciate y'all tuning in. I know, right? Over 100 watching, hardly any likes. It's probably because the American flag bandana thing in my head, you know? Everybody's kind of out of shape about it these days. Working on dogs, working on dogs. If you guys want to be able to see them done, smash that subscribe button for me. We'll have full time-lapse videos of these once they're complete.
23 thumbs up. Holy cow, 211 watching. Smash that subscribe button. Come on back to the live, guys. Drop a comment.
Where you're from, what's the temperature? Comment helps me grow the live. And definitely makes me want to do it more often. 80 degrees here in upstate New York.
What's going on? What's going on?
Whew. I have to replace the batteries. Trying to use up all the battery in the GoPros. They're getting down there. Hope you guys are doing well. 80 degrees. Got a good sweat rolling, I'll tell you what. 25 likes, 167 watching. Look at you guys. Appreciate you. You can double tap that screen or hit the buttons in the bottom. Happy early 4th of July to everybody. Hope you all got some good plans for tomorrow. I know we'll be barbecuing and hanging out with friends and family. For once, I'm gonna do my best to not do any work. Working on some dogs. Got one there blocked out. He's still got to get detail work. Working on the second one. These are custom orders, so recording it all in time lapse. And then we'll have a video putting it all together once these guys are done. If you want to be able to see them complete, hit subscribe.
Chaps over trucks. 80. How far up north are you, boss? I'm in upstate New York around at 80 degrees. Oh, unplugged my phone. Might as well take a second.
This GoPro is gonna shut off. Left the 2 batteries in from the other day and forgot to charge those 2, so I gotta swap these out quick, but just unplugged my phone here. 78 watching, 27 thumbs up. Appreciate you guys. Tap that screen. Sweating, sweating, sweating. Two things in upstate New York. Either you're freezing or you're sweating. We don't have any middle ground here anymore. It's just one or the other. That's it. I wish New York State would bring back 60s. I wish we could get 60-degree days back in New York State. That'd be amazing, but they must have voted them out or something. Who knows? New York State always votes against all the good stuff, you know? What's up, Lawn Pro? Somebody got a new pupper. Oh no, well, me ain't working on a puppers. What's up? Let me get this set up. We'll have a full time lapse of this. 80 something people watching. Tap that screen for me. Make sure you guys hit follow. Sue, I see you. I saw your comment. You're still here with global warming. Because I said it's like hot, right? Crazy weather. I truly believe the earth just goes through cycles. In all honesty. I think the earth heats itself up, cools itself down. Everything runs on a cycle. Every so many years. Yeah, I think it's supposed to get stormy here. It stormed this morning. I think our media presents these big weather changes only for scare tactics. I look forward to it. Me and my son were out fishing this morning. It started to downpour. We had to end that real quick. It was nice and sunny, and man, it got dark fast.
Have a good one, Karen. Jacob, what's up? smoky in here today. My eyes are burning. Couple of dogs. Appreciate y'all being here, hanging out. Holy guacamole, Batman.
Oh, my eyeballs are on fire today. Whew. Sneezy McSneezersons. Open up the side of the tent there a little bit, get a little more fresh air. Feel like I'm in here doing the old
Smoking or something, I guess.
Usually the fans do well, but smoke doesn't seem to like to leave. High humidity, it always seems like it's worse carbon for that stuff, and the humidity is like ridiculous. Looks like it's clearing out now. That's good. Open up the side of the tent and suck some of the exhaust out of here for me. That's what we're working on. There's one from the other day live, and here's two little dogs for a customer. I don't do a lot of dogs. However, I have a lot of people ask about them, and I don't know, I might transition into doing some more practice with dogs. Maybe one day we'll be able to do a tutorial, you know. You guys are doing well. 65 watching, hit 40 thumbs up. Appreciate you guys. If it's your first time here, hit subscribe. Hit that bell, hit all so you'll miss future uploads and lives. I'll have full time-lapse videos on these dogs when they're done. You'll be able to see them, you know, start to finish. Yeah, I just got to get more practice in. You know, I want to be a little more confident. Yeah, they're looking pretty good. Pretty good so far. Not bad for a guy that doesn't carve dogs too awful much. Maybe a couple a year, you know. Oop. Those are what I'm after though. A couple little fur balls. This guy's pretty cool though. One blue eye, check that out. That's pretty awesome. Going for that. That's what we're going for. Something similar, something close. That's why it's nice to have practice pieces and pictures in your portfolio to show customers or potential customers. So, like my customer understands, these are not going to be exact replicas, you know? He's already seen dogs that I've done. And he sees what my work, he's already been able to see what my work looks like based on pictures. And, you know, that's why it really is important to take pictures of your work and have it. Because like you progress, you get orders and stuff. People want to see what you can do if they're going to place an order with you. Or what you can't do. Yeah, I like challenging myself, you know. I'd like to do more dogs. I'd like to get into some more breeds as well. Just trying to get these close to life size, but these are going to be much bigger than actual life size dogs, I think. So it'll be almost 1.5 times, maybe even 2. By the time I get them all done here. One of these days I gotta sit down and order myself up some new glasses. Luckily I can see up close. I just can't see up far away, I mean. So, alright, chainsaw carving, but 70 watching. Smash that thumbs up, guys. Drop a comment. Where you're from, what's the temperature? Comments, likes, new subscribers while we're live helps grow the live, and I appreciate it.
today. That'd be fantastic. Brand new saw.
Yeah, come over here, make sure nobody's misbehaving. What's going on? $66 watch, 44 thumbs up. Heck yeah, I appreciate you guys. What's up, Ryan? Thanks for being a big fan. Appreciate you. Sue's a big fan as well. Oh, we all got a long ways to go, buddy. If you're still here, Ryan, we all got a long ways to go. Ugh. Yes, Sue is an awesome customer. I think we're going to be back at Blue Mountain this year, Sue. Of course, I haven't paid for it yet, but I'm pretty sure we're going to go back to Blue Mountain Lake this year. You're welcome, Kirsten. Absolutely. Man, sawdust and the humans are getting me a little bit today. So I was working on the chest here. Chest area, hogging that out. Sorry for my disgusting nose blowing, but it's got to be done. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to clean it out. Yeah, I'll have to shoot you a message. Can't remember off the top of my head. September for sure. I think we're gonna do some more walnut carvings for it again. Might do a couple more bears this time. I don't know, we'll see. We'll just see what the vibe is. You know, I've still got the owl left from still have the bald eagle from last year, so I'm gonna bring that. I still have the blue heron from last year, so we'll bring that back. But we might do, I don't know, depending on how time goes, maybe 2 or 3 bears and something else. Maybe another fox or a different animal. I like to mix something else in. Or maybe we'll shoot for like a dog, you know? Maybe we'll shoot for like a German Shepherd or something cool to bring. Because then when it's like that, it's out of walnut, I seriously got to slow down, take my time, and do my best, because we're not doing color with walnut carvings, you know? 51 watching, 45 thumbs up. Appreciate you guys. If you're just tuning in, we're carving up some dogs for a custom order. Be doing a time-lapse video I'm recording for time-lapse, so once they're done, be able to watch these start to finish on the channel. Just want to make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss that upload. Let's see, we gotta get working in the tail. So the goal was to have his tail go this way, the tail on that dog goes the other way. That's what I wanted. I gotta work in the hip and how that tail's gonna flow. Oh, probably out of fuel, huh? Yeah, I was using the other saw, not this one. If this starts up, this won't start up usually when it's hot. Still got a lot to do on that one, but pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. Still got some shaving and trimming over here. That guy's got to get slimmed down a little bit more. We may slim this guy down a little bit more too, but we got to get into that neck, cut out between the legs, cut out in here. Not too awful bad though. It's coming along pretty nice. Pretty decent. If you're here, you're watching, double tap that screen, guys. Give me a like, hit follow. And turn on YouTube notifications so you don't miss the video when I upload these pieces going from start to finish. We'll do a full time lapse. Hey, you're welcome. I do enjoy it, you know. Sometimes it's easy to get down about it and get annoyed and things like that, but, you know, at the same time, the world's full of all kinds of people and whatever. You know, you just got to deal with them, especially if you're going to put yourself out there like this and have a channel and be on social media. But, you know, I started the channel to help people with carving. And we've made all kinds of tutorial videos on here to help you guys out. And I know it's been a while since I've put anything out like that. Just trying to figure out, you know, like what I want to do, you know, with the channel. I don't want to shut it down or nothing. I'm just trying to figure out, you know, videos and I don't know, hit a wall. Been hitting this wall for quite a while as far as like tutorial stuff. You know, we made all kinds of bear videos, but a buddy of mine and my brother-in-law were like, just make more bear videos. You know, your bears always look different. You make tutorials for all kinds of stuff, but sometimes it just feels like it's mundane. You know, you put out a full-length video to get 100, 200 views sometimes, and it's like, geez, you know, it's not even really reaching people. So, I don't know. I got to try to get back in the swing of it. I'm doing so much stuff at the moment that sometimes it's hard to have the level of creativity that I hope for a video, you know. Same thing's happening with my chainsaw rescue channel I got on here, Kylehallwoodworker Chainsaw Rescue. We're working on saws. Been putting up a ton of shorts, kind of like this page lately. You know, it also gets to a point too where it's like, you know, how long or how can I continue to keep up with it and stay relevant with what I'm doing and what I'm sharing on here? Well, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad I can help you out. So, yeah, there's always this constant, you know, just trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing. What the heck I'm doing. Been putting out all kinds of different stuff on TikTok, but that's awesome, Chris. I appreciate that, man. In New Zealand. Chris from New Zealand. That's really cool to see. I appreciate that comment, dude. I really do. I appreciate everybody that comments and hangs out, you know. I try to keep this stuff pretty real. We try to keep it clean. Try not to get too awful political here, you know. But, yeah. Trying to keep it going. Been on here since 2015. When I first started carving, I started my YouTube channel. And there wasn't really any videos on here teaching anybody how to carve, and so once I figured out how to do a bear and do it as simply as possible, I started making tutorials to share with everybody. Got in a groove for quite a few years, I feel like, you know, pumping out videos and stuff. And yeah, you know, it is do what you love, but you know, at the same time, it does get to a point where you realize you can make an income on it, and so you start making some money on here, and it's like, wow, that's really nice. And then, you know, you get pressure for that, and pressure just, you know, to create new and videos that are captivating and can build this audience. But then at the same time, it makes it tough because it's like, thanks, Kirsten. It makes it tough because then you'll look at a channel that popped up, you know, a year or two ago, and they've already doubled their subscriber count compared to yours, and it's like, geez, what the heck, you know? I'm making neat stuff, but it's not relevant enough to, you know, boost it to the moon. So then you have to kind of humble yourself and decide, you know, is making a couple $100s a month on YouTube where it's at? Is that what I want to do? Is it just sharing what I know, or when I learn something new, is that, you know, fulfilling enough? Like what, you know, it's just like this constant evolution of like mindset and what you're doing, and trying to figure out like what's the new goal, right? Like I had goals, I hit goals on here. So now it's like, that's really what it is. What I need to sit down is figure out, what are my next YouTube goals? What are the goals I want to reach for this channel? What do I want to do with it? And where do I want to go from here? Because really we've just been coasting for months, you know? At least in my mind, I feel like I've been coasting for months. And a lot of my good followers and my subscribers and those of you that are, you know, hit join and become members, like I know you guys can see it. I'm sure you can. And it's just trying to, I don't know, get some different inspiration, I guess, you know what I mean? So that I can put out some quality videos and content for you guys. But that's why we go live. So when we get to go live, we can hang out, and I'm just real with it, so whatever.
Take it with a grain of salt. But, yep. Let's see if we can't hide all this out in here.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. 7.2 million views. Thanks for pointing that out, Chris. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I get it. You know, as far as like what brings and what it is and what you want to do and where you want to be, you know. The cool thing with YouTube, you know, like if the internet stays up and going and YouTube's still here in 20, 30 years and I'm gone, who knows, right? I'm 40, so I might have another 40 years in me. Who knows? 50 probably be pushing it, but my kids, my grandkids can come back and watch my videos and see the things that I did and see the real conversations here if they want to come back and watch them, you know? No, I don't have a 200T. I won't run top handle saws for carving. Top handle saws aren't good for your wrist if you're going to chainsaw carve. I've got a 193C, so 193 could be a top handle, you know, but I get it in the back handle style to run it. You get more control, and if it's top handle, your wrists tend to really give you a problem. I do have don't get me wrong, I have top handle saws for like cleanup and stuff. I just don't use that stuff for chainsaw carve. We started this on this live 100 minutes. And live for 100 minutes. Hey Deborah, thanks for the comment. Deborah from Florida. '93 camping chainsaw. Nice, nice. From Germany. That's awesome. Utah, Florida. I'm in upstate New York. Square up his base a little bit. Kind of match this one. Two toughest parts. Doing a new carving, something new. The two hardest things, in my opinion, when you're trying something new. Hamburg, Germany, no kidding, that's awesome. One, blocking it out, portions, trying to get it what you want. And then once you get there, you start detailing and honing it in, right? And then two, for me, is getting the eyes the way I want. The second hardest thing, I feel like, is the eyes. These guys still have a lot of work to go, but we're gonna slender up our base a little bit. These will dry for a few days. Fresh Schneider. Foam flesh. Did a little steel training. Had to try to pronounce some of these German words. I don't know very many. I don't know them offhand. I'm just reading what you wrote. Be a steel tech, you gotta learn though, like why things are called certain things and what the abbreviations mean. I can't rattle it off the top of my head, but it's all German. It's all German. Well, that's not good. One camera says 6 minutes and the other camera says 2 minutes, so that's not recording properly. 14 in 1 second and 14 in 10 seconds. That's great. So these changed when I swapped out batteries. It decided it was going to do whatever in the heck it wanted. Perfect. That's going to be messed up for the time-lapse video. Oh, the fun side right there of YouTube as well. You shoot a video for something you can't go back and redo, and all your footage is jacked. Yeehaw. Yeehaw, yeehaw. Alright, I gotta go do the dinner thing. But, voila, 2 dogs thus far. I still got a ton of work to do. But, yeah, if you want to be able to see them done, smash that subscribe button for me. And I hope you guys have an awesome 4th of July. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get something to eat and go fishing. So, appreciate y'all that have been tuning in. Now Schmeckles shows up. I'm heading out, buddy. Rolling out of here. Been working on these guys. We'll be live again, though. Sometime next week. Or we'll see what Sunday brings. I don't know. Maybe Sunday. Maybe Sunday. Have a happy 4th of July, guys. And hope you guys have a good one. See you later.